Hi, I'm Dr. Banz and welcome back to this channel. Today, it's a light conversation, nothing medical, no complicated language, just talking about a day in the life of Dr. Banz. And I'll talk about it today using a story. A few years ago, I had the opportunity to shift a few things in my career, and that required that I sit for an interview. And if I got that job, I would be still continuing with working as a doctor, but I would also require that I use some other skills outside of the medical field and do a bit more creative work. Now, I'd been in the medical field so long, I'd been working in the public space and pseudo-private space for so long that I hadn't done this corporate life or working or sitting for interviews in the corporate life in a very long while. So on the night before the interview, I decided to kill the nerves. Let me try and play dress up to prepare for the interview, see what I'm going to wear, because I like to dress up. I like clothes. I like to look good, even when there's a coat over. I'm wearing a coat over my clothes. I like to look good. I feel like clothes give me some extra confidence. They're like armor. They help me get through a day, So on the night before, I decide, let's play dress up to help me get out of my head as I prepare for this interview. And as I was working through it, got a top, got shoes, skirt, versus trousers, whatever. So as I was working through that, I got something. I got the final attire. But when I looked at the shoes, it was a situation. And the first person to point it out was actually a sibling who was with me in the house as I was getting prepared. And I think I was looking at my shoes for the first time in very many years. They had worn out so bad that the skin, the surface of them had started peeling off. And I think because, cleaning, dust, walking around so many hours, heat, everything, they were damaged. They were really the typical what you'd call weather beaten. And in that moment, I realized I had taken so long without looking at my shoes. And like I said, I love to dress up, and one of my weaknesses is shoes. I love shoes. I love shoes of all kinds of colors. I use them as accessories, basically, for what I wear. So looking at them in this moment, on the night before a big interview that I was excited about, it made me feel really, really sad. It got me to a realization that the life I had been living had been so harsh in terms of finances specifically. I'd been spending everything, every coin I was earning, I'd been spending it on paying for school, paying for gadgets that I needed for school, paying for books that I needed for school. I only had enough to keep me fed and not look tired while seeing patients. So there wasn't any left to, get dressed better and buy new pairs of shoes. So me and my brother are there seated looking at these shoes, and they're the only option we have for me for the next day. And we're thinking, this is not going to work. You're going to fail an interview because you're walking in looking like this. So thanks to brilliance and genius, my brother offers shoe polish for shoes that, mind you, are not supposed to be polished. They're supposed to be cleaned a different way. But the only solution that night was shoe polish to hide those places where the top surface had started getting off. So we work through it, brush it off, put more polish, brush it off, clean the places where it wasn't supposed to be. Took a couple of minutes trying to sort that out. Then he would tell me, wear it again, let's see this angle, let's see the other angle, let's make sure it won't be visible. And then let's hope that wherever it is you're going for the interview, your feet won't be visible. And yeah, with some good panel beating, we felt ready for the interview. Now, I get to the interview. Do I think the shoes contributed to me passing the interview? I don't think so. I don't know. I'll never know. I don't think I could ask. And I don't think I can ask the person who was interviewing me if they saw my shoes. But I did pass the interview. That's the good news. I got the job, and my first month's salary, I think I spent almost 50% on a wardrobe change, because I thought that moment was an enlightening moment for me, because working in the medical industry, and I'm sure at least the people watching this that live in my country know that it's a tough place to work in. The job itself is already a very big job. You're working with people's lives, and you're always working on life or death situations, literally. So it's already a big job, but not many areas provide the remuneration that's equivalent to the amount of work and the weight of the work that you do. Most of the people I know, most of my colleagues work at least 3 jobs just to make ends meet. It's not like they love to be at work from 8 to 8 the next morning. It's a tough job to do. And you'd ask, so why are you working in this job? What was the push to get to that job? And the reason is I've always loved medicine. I've always loved biology. I've always been curious about the way the body works. And I always have loved to fix things. I like the end product of working on something and figuring out what's wrong and fixing it. So my love for biology and my love for fixing things pushed me into the medical field really early in life. And it's always been exciting for me, even while I was working. Even while I was working as a doctor, it's always been exciting. So getting this new job that allowed me to still work as a doctor and do medical work, but also utilize my creativity and creative skills, was an even bigger opportunity. It was definitely exciting, and it didn't hurt that remuneration was bigger, almost 3 times what I used to earn. But the bigger part was that I could use my creative side, the creative side that we end up putting aside while you're in medical school, because the books are many, the years of study are many, and then you get out and you have so many jobs to make ends meet. So I'd put aside a lot of my creative side, and this job allowed me to reawaken that creative child and let them play with it while also still working as a medic. Moral of this story is passion is very important. Passion and a sense of purpose is very important when you're picking a career. And of course, when we are studying, when we are younger, when we are trying to choose the subjects we would want to do, subjects that come easier to us, it's something that has to be at the forefront of your mind, that I'm doing mathematics, or I'm focusing on economics, or I'm focusing on science because I love it. It gives me life. It makes me excited. It helps. I go to sleep at night excited after having done this or solved this problem. So passion and purpose are very important. What I would like to add to that is that do not forget the creative child in you along your career path. Do not forget the other things that excite you aside from the passion and the purpose. Always make time find a way of making time for the things that are most of the time looked at as hobbies, things that are most of the time looked at as side hustles or side gigs. Don't forget those things and don't ignore the lessons that come with focusing on them even while you're much younger in your career. Because for me, it gave me an extra boost in finances, which are very important, but it also gives me, even up to now, it gives me a sense of calm. So even when the job gets hard, even when you have to keep breaking bad news to one person and then go and fail to save somebody else, even on the very, very bad days, the things that my creative side helps me bring the calm. My creative side helps me stay sane. My creative side gives me moments to forget about the problems of the life of a career person for a moment, at least enough to be able to sleep at night, and then get up and go back and keep going with the work that I do. So for everybody, the people that are still in school, the people that are in university or studying right now, specializing in whatever it is that you do, my advice is go back and look for that creative side and start engaging them. It might save you some money, but it will also keep you sane when life gets tough. Thank you for listening. I hope this has been inspirational to somebody. Come back in a week for another video from Dr. Banz, and we'll have a day in the life of a doctor very soon. So thank you and goodbye.